Hello and welcome to another video. How are you, TCP family? We are going to discuss in this video about the request for taxpayer identification number and certification. That is your form W-9, and I want to talk about how this relates to opening your your domestic trust enterprise bank account. A lot of you have opened this account already with the infamous Wells Fargo or other banks out there, Chase, Bank of America, all of your neighborhood financial institutions, which is fine. What I want to talk about here is giving you more of a peace of mind that these accounts will not be pillaged. We do know that we have our foreign trustee who is the grantor to these accounts. Why? Well, we have put together our Foreign Express Trust, and we were the grantor in that. We funded the trust with our authenticated birth certificates and also life insurance policies, maybe even real estate or even gold, tangible or intangible assets. But we are not the trustee of that foreign trust account. We actually have an actual foreign trustee from another country. And so in that position, they have everything in their hands that we entrust them with. From there, they decide to go ahead and open up another account to allow them to manage these items for us in the United States, but they're not going to be here in the States. So therefore, it is an opportunity to open up a plenipotentiary power agreement between them and you. At that point, you are then the trustee of this trust enterprise account, which is operating within the States. And that is the account that you are using to open your bank account here. Your savings, I do not recommend go into this account. They should go into the life insurance policy. You'll get more return on your money, or put it into real estate and hold it there. But all of your business expenses on a day-to-day or a month-to-month process should go into this trust enterprise account, and it is utilized as you normally would see fit. Okay, but we still want to make sure that the money that is in the trust account that is used for bills and whatnot is not going to ever have an opportunity for the banks or the Internal Revenue Service or any state agency to come after it at any given time. So what we need to do is, those who already have your accounts open, you should follow this instructional. And those who do not have it, you should do this for the very first time around. Before, in the past, we would go to the bank with all the necessary information. We would give them our CP-575. That is the document from the IRS. Once we've been given the tax form, given our tax identification number, over to the bank teller, and they use that information to properly denote the EIN for the account. If we were to not give them the CP-575, instead we would give them the W-9. They are the requester, requesting our tax identification number. We are giving them to them. We are giving that number to them, but instead of using the CP-575, we just take the number off of the CP-575 and place it onto the W-9. There we have a little bit more opportunities to be tax exempt from the beginning. And I'm talking about avoiding the backup withholding of taxes. Okay, so this is going to further express your trust enterprise as a disregarded entity. Let me share my screen here and show you what I mean. A little bit. This is the W-9. I would love for employers to ask for this information instead of a W-4. We're going to see how all of your employers are involved in what's called the ECI, effectively connected income, which is why they cannot ask for a W-9 unless we are talking about contractee or contractor agreements. But anyway, in the W-9 application, on line 1, it asks you for the name of the entity. or the individual. So we are talking about the trust enterprise here. In this example, we have Sesame Street Trust Enterprise. It would be nice to enter our doing business as name here in box number 2. But again, we do not want to provide additional information that is going to confuse the bank teller. After all, we've just told them that this is a personal trust account. So this is not a business account. There are other states for that, such as Massachusetts, Delaware, Wyoming. Those states, they have a lot of state member banks that garner 2 business trust accounts. So in this matter, we're just going to keep box number 2 unmarked. Box 3A, check the appropriate box for federal tax classification for the entity individual whose name is entered on line 1. Check only one of the following 7 boxes. So in this case, we are talking about a trust. So we click that box, and that is all you have to do. Okay. Number 4, what is the exemptions? We have codes that apply only to certain entities, not individuals. And we must see the instructions on page 3 to figure out which one applies to us. So let's scroll down page 3, right here, line 4, exemptions. If you are exempt from backup withholding and or FATCA, this is for the foreign tax accounts, enter in the appropriate space on line 4 any codes that may apply to you. Exempt payee codes. Generally, individuals are not exempt from backup withholding. So I think that's why they want to persuade you to go over to a W-4 if you are an individual sole proprietor. But that's very interesting. It's double talk, because if you look at the form Schedule C, they want you to attach that to a 1040 form, which is for the individual. And the Schedule C talks about sole proprietors. And on that form, sole proprietors have all types of expenses that they can write off for businesses. So which is it? Is a sole proprietor just an individual employee, or is a sole proprietor a business? When you look at all these forms and look at the double talk that goes back and forth between them, you start to see that there is truly only one way to be tax exempt here. And that's what we show. Number 2, except as provided below, corporations are exempt from backup withholding for certain payments, including interest and dividends. That's very key. Corporations are not exempt from backup withholding for payments. Corporations are not exempt from backup withholding with respect to attorney's fees. And then it says the following codes identifies payees that are exempt from backup withholding. Enter the appropriate code in the space on line 4. Number 1, and that's the code. If this applies to you, you would apply number 1 in line 4. Remember, exemptions is always according to line 4. On the W-4, you have on line 4C, your exemption section, and in the W-9, it is line 4 for the exemptions. An organization exempt from tax under Section 501 or any IRA or custodial account under Section 403B. This does not apply to the trust enterprise. Number 2, the United States or any of its agencies or instrumentalities. No. Number 3, a state, the District of Columbia, a U.S. Commonwealth or territory, or any of their political subdivisions or instrumentalities. Maybe. Let's keep going. I'll go through all of them, and then you kind of just tell me what best fits here, assuming you've read some of these sections. Number 4, a foreign government or any of its political subdivisions, agencies, or instrumentalities. Number 5, a simple and measly corporation. Number 6, a dealer in securities or commodities required to register in the United States, the District of Columbia, or a U.S. Commonwealth or territory. Number 7, a futures commission merchant registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Number 8, a real estate investment trust. Number 9, an entity registered at all times during the tax year under the Investment Company Act of 1940. Number 10, a common trust fund operated by a bank under Section 584A. Number 11, a financial institution as defined under Section 581. Number 12, a middleman known in the investment community as a nominee or custodian. 13, the last one. There are only 13 floors to a building, so they say. A trust exempt from tax under Section 664 or described in Section 4947. Okay, so which of these applies for you, your trust enterprise, as a grantor retained annuity trust account? Now keep in mind, what is your position to this trust enterprise? You are a trustee. You are operating on behalf of the settlor, and your settlor is the foreign trustee. And when you go back to that organization, that leads you to the Foreign Express Trust. So who are you working for? You're ultimately working for the foreign trustee, and the foreign trustee is working for the beneficiary, which is the trust. So you have 3 parties here, and you are in the middle. So the answer is 12. A middleman known in the investment community as a nominee or custodian. Okay, so we go back up and we enter in line 4, the number 12. Okay, now let's just say in this example, we are not dealing with a trust enterprise. Let's say you have a LLC open right now, and it would be nice to open up this trust account and have it be doing business as Priority Funds LLC, right? And so then we would have to check off the proper entity identity, which would be LLC, not a trust. It would be nice if we could do that with our trust account, but they're not going to do it. Like I said, it is a personal trust account, not a business account. So it's just not going to work. And some banks are chartered differently where they cannot do that. So what you have to do is this, because let's say you are a person or a business owner who wants to update this information with his bank and keep your LLC operating. This is kind of like having a private bank account for your LLC. It's not going to be completely private the way we do it, because you're still a part of it with your social security number. A true private bank account is where you utilize your foreign trustee to open up the bank account for you. But this is a way to kind of get your feet wet in that world and protect the monies that is in this account. So let's say we're done with our trust enterprise account and we're only focusing on our LLC. It is an LLC, and it gives us further instructions on what to do. So we would still use the exempt code 12, but we have to also establish the tax classification. Let's assume you are approved already, your 8832 reclassification. You've reclassified your domestic LLC to a foreign trust account. That means now this LLC is considered a disregarded entity, which means it is not considered separate from its owner. Okay. So that means this LLC is in some form of a partnership. So you would have to enter the letter P, partnership. To further give you an understanding of that, I believe we're going to have to go to the 8832 form precisely. Yes, right here. And we have definitions of a disregarded entity right here. So it says a disregarded entity is an eligible entity that is treated as an entity who is not separate from its single owner. So even though this is a partnership, it is looked upon as one with its owner. This is a marriage. Okay, so the owner of the LLC is the Foreign Express Trust. And if your Foreign Express Trust is on the zero file tax list, the Foreign Express Trust received a notice from the Internal Revenue Service saying that it doesn't have to file 1041 forms anymore, then it is exactly a tax exempt entity. Your LLC is now reclassified to that entity. It is not separate from its single owner. Okay. Now there are different entities out there that is still considered a disregarded entity, but the way it makes its money will determine if it can or cannot be separate from its owner. Check this out. A disregarded entity is treated as separate from its owner for specific reasons. Number one, employment tax purposes. Okay, so this is an employee. This is an individual who provided a W-2 to its employer. That money is not going to count as a disregarded entity who is not separate from a single owner. So if you're collecting money from an employer, they're saying you are a disregarded entity treated as separate. If you are dealing with excise taxes reported on 720, 730, 2290, 11C, or 8849, same thing. You are a disregarded entity treated as separate from its owner. Anything outside of these two, you have the eligibility to be treated as an entity not separate from its single owner, the foreign trust. So there is a way that still, if you are an employee, there is a way that you can still take all of your income and bring it down to zero when it comes to tax filing. Okay, those are things that we're doing right now, and you're going to learn that. So stay tuned to that. So I need you to understand the disregarded entity section, so you better have a clear understanding of why they want you to put the letter P right here for your LLC. If it was a corporation, then you're going to have to select corporation. Now, address is here. You do not have to put the bank name, but you can if you want. I actually, yes, I would say go ahead and give them the bank name. Let's say it's PNC Bank. And you also give the address. And the city. And the state. And the zip. Why? Because you're probably an existing customer already. And you have an existing account. Okay? And list your account. Because what you're going to do is mail this in to your bank. You should mail it into the actual branch. You don't need to walk it in. If you want to walk it in, you can. But I would suggest mailing it in. They'll receive it. You give them a nice cover letter stating you're looking to update your information in regards to your tax classification for your EIN according to the LLC standards or the trust enterprise. And you're still going to give them the same EIN number that you gave them before. They're just updating it. And this is the update, number 12. They will send this in directly to the IRS, and all of the monies that goes into your account is not going to be reported to the Internal Revenue Service on behalf of the bank. The way it normally is. Okay. So they will make sure that you are not going to be experiencing backup withholding. All right. So that's all you do. So if you haven't done this process yet and going to open up a bank account, you do it this way, regardless if it's a trust enterprise or you have a business. If this is a new account for you, you obviously wouldn't have the account number and you obviously wouldn't give bank information. You would just walk into the bank on your appointment and give them this W-9 instead of giving the CP-575. If you already have this trust enterprise bank account already open, you just simply fill out this form the way you've just learned how and mail it in or walk it in. Just a simple update to your records. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next video.